In this lecture, we are going to talk about tags and annotations in our testing. And this is the new feature which was introduced in Playwright version 1.42. So if you use this new feature of tags and annotation with the new Playwright version 1.42, you'll realize that these tags and annotations are so useful while you try to annotate your test and also while you try to run them from the command line if you are going to be targeting a specific tags and also wanting to see some annotations based on the types and description in the test report. So I'll show you everything in this particular lecture and you'll understand how awesome they are. So if I go to our test over here, and this is the same test that we have been working on, and you will notice that this test at the moment has got a description of a test over here, and it doesn't really give you any information. So let's say this is going to be creating an employee for us. So I'm going to say test creating an employee, something like that. So this is our test that we have got over here. And this is the same thing that we have been working all these days in our test so far, right? We just always put the details of the test and then we try to run them, and all these tests run for you all the time. But if I want to run a specific test, for instance, this test1.spec file, all I have to do it is I'll just do this npx playwright test and then the tests and the test spec file, and then I specify whatever argument that I wanted to pass, and then it just runs the test for you over there. But what if you wanted to run only a specific test? All we were doing is we just do like this, like test.only, and then it will run that specific test in this entire spec file. That is how it was working all these days. But what if I wanted to run a test based on a specific tag? So those are things which are available in many test runner already, something like NUnit or maybe JUnit and also in Jest. But in here, in our Playwright, we can't really do it with this particular test runner. So how do we actually fix that particular problem? Welcome to this new tag and annotation feature, which was introduced in version 1.42, which is going to help you do that. So the way you can do it is just put a comma there on the test after the description, and you will notice that you can add an argument over here, and over here you can pass the tags, as you can see over here. So this is the tag that I was talking about. So you can pass the tags and it is going to be very, very straightforward. All you have to do it is you can specify over here, just put a T, and then you see that there is going to be a tag. Just do control space. You'll see there is something called as annotations as well. So there are two properties that you can pass in as an argument, and then you can try performing those operations. So over here, I'm going to say the tag as, let's say, for instance, this is going to be an smoke test which I wanted to run. So just put like a at smoke, so it is going to be a smoke test annotation. And similarly, you can specify multiple tags as well, but I don't want to go there at the moment, so I'm just going to leave this thing as it is. I'm going to remove the only over there. And now if I wanted to run that specific tagged test, so how do I actually do that? So the way I can actually do it is we can now just see that now we can remove everything that we were trying to pass all these days. So let me just try to bring this console a bit over here. And then I'm going to say npx playwright test. And instead of specifying the spec file or anything like that, I'm just going to say grep. See, that's a new command that we have never used before. And over here, I can just specify the tag, which is going to be at smoke. So if I do that over here, you will notice that it is going to run only one test, just the test creating an employee. And you see that the test has got passed over here. This is quite cool. This was not something we could able to achieve that before, but now we can do it with the power of this new tagging feature, which was introduced in Playwright. And let's say you're saying, Karthik, you know what? I have got quite a lot of tags, not just the smoke tag. For instance, I'm going to run this test in the smoke test. And also we have got a new release and I have to run this particular test for that specific release. Let's say release version 1.3 or something like that. So how do I run all those tests, including the smoke test? So how do we do that? Well, guess what? You can actually do it much, much easily. Using the same tag, you can actually use the array over here, and then you can just say smoke, and the same array you can also say release v1.2 or 1.3 or whatever that you want to call it. You can do that as well. this is also entirely possible. So over here, if I wanted to run the test for smoke, you will see that the same test, oops, sorry, I just have to put an at symbol there. I just missed that. So now if I try to run the at smoke over here, you will see that the same test is just going to run like how it was running before. So the test is going to pass there. But let's say if I wanted to run the at release version 1.2, then I can do that as well. So all I have to do is let's just put that at release version 1.4 1.2, and that test is also going to run. So you can run tags with different tags for the same test as well. So you can do that, and this is very, very relevant in most of our time in our test execution, because that is all going to happen every single time. And you will also notice that while we try to do an npx playwright show report or whatever over here, you'll notice that we also have got the tag which is shown here as smoke and release version 1.2. This is also very, very searchable as well. So for instance, if we just do a smoke, of course, we only have got one test over there. You could able to search that as well. And this is also possible based on the tags. You can search it, which is really, really cool. We can actually achieve that over here. And you can see that we have got chromium in the tag there, also smoke and the release version 1.2. So those things are all coming because we have got that option, which is cool. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the annotations features as well. So annotations is again very, very straightforward. All you have to do it is, let's say if you wanted to annotate this test, let's say this test has got some documentation, and also if there is going to be an issue or maybe a GitHub link for this particular code, you can all do that over here. So for instance, so if I want to do that, I'm just going to put that block over here. So I'm just going to expand this block a bit like that. And over here, I'm going to say annotations like that. And this annotations is going to be an array as well. So I'm going to put a comma there. And within this array, I'm going to say a type. So you see that we have got something called as, okay, let's open, because this array annotation is basically going to be like an array type as well. Over here, I'm just going to say type. And I'm going to say, let's say it's going to have an information, for instance. And I'm going to say the information with a description. It's going to be basically going to be like a, so what test is this going to be? This is going to create an employee, right? So this is going to be creating an employee with same user details, something like that. So that's the information over here. And I'm also going to give a type. So let's say I want to give another type that I wanted to pass in. So I can do that as well. So I'm going to say over here as the type. And I'm going to say there is also some issues associated with this particular a test, which is going to be probably a GitHub link or something like that. So let's say if I just open my Safari browser. So let's go to the github.executeautomation/executeautomation, and in the repository, so let's say the Playwright test that we have got, which is this one, and I'm going to copy this particular link. For instance, I know there is no issue whatsoever, so I'm just going to copy this link. Just want to show you like how the issue can be addressed. So I'm going to paste that over here. So you can put the link as well if you wanted to. So those detail like the type, information and the issue. Also for the description, you can paste that. I mean, this type can be of anything. It's like a normal text, and similarly description is just like a normal text as well. So the way this is going to be very helpful is mainly on the reporting. So if I try to run the same test one more time, which is the one that we were running before, and now while I try to run this show report, you will notice that this test is now going to have an annotations pane over here, which is going to give you the information like what this test is going to be doing. And also you're going to see that there is an issue, which is going to be the link of the particular issue that you are targeting towards. These things are very, very helpful while we try to document this test, or maybe we run it in the CI/CD pipeline. And while we see the report, it is going to show you all the details, like what is really going on behind the scene. So this is what is the power of the tags and the annotations within our test. You see that now if I click the smoke, you see in the search, it's like add smoke, and similarly add release version 1.2 is going to coming up over there. So these things are coming because we have got the tag there. So hope you got the idea of how you can use the power of the tags and annotations and how you can run them from the command line using the --grep and the tag name followed.